What's going on with my bit rate right now? Is my bit rate strong enough? Oh my god. The bit rate is set. Oh yeah. Making weird noises in the microphone. Oh god, it's the beginning. It's making weird noises in the microphone. Oh my god. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. What is he doing? 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 Lexi V's gonna drive home. I like it. Driving home. How long's your drive? Lexi, how long's your drive? How long's that drive? Ease. Oh, quick! Click the button. It's the end of the song. That end of that song is very, very, very unceremonious. You know what I mean? It just ends. It just goes away, and it just ends. And I legit have I have a chunk of hair that is flying over here, and I cut it out of a corner of my eye, and I'm going to do it all day. So I might as well do it right at the beginning, and get the shame out of the way right at the beginning, because people will be like, oh my God, he fixed his hair. And yes, it's because there would be this weird hollow thing. Every time I turned my head, you would be able to see this hollow loop of hair. You know what I mean? So if you're somebody who likes aquariums, if you're somebody who likes aquarium content, especially freshwater planted aquariums, hey, at the very least, subscribe. Oh my God, words are good today. Words are strong today. If you like a guy who mumbles and can't say what he's trying to say with his words coming out of his mouth hole, you could subscribe, or you could up the ante and become a patronizer by going over to www.patreon.com/JOEL_C. And you could do that if you like. Or you could just stay here on YouTube and click the join button and gift a bunch of memberships to other people who may or may not have paid for memberships previously in the past. Because right now, our membership numbers, oh my God, they're going down. Our numbers are going down to 74. Hold on. We gotta highlight 75. It was 75 for a minute, and then it went down to 74. So we're at 74 members. Patreon was at the beginning of the month. This is what normally happens. We drop a bunch of patrons because, people's credit cards update or whatever, or their payment, blah, 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 that kind of crap. So we're 112. We're still somewhere around a couple hundred people supporting this channel. And as you guys know, I'm still filming and making content. I have not released a new video specific to Fish Tankery in a year on this channel, other than live streams interacting with you guys. Mainly because I have to go like this. I have to go like, which can I do? I literally have to do that. I literally have to go like, can I do live streams or can I do content? I could make a video once a week on Monday and only do that on Monday and then have it come out like some other day, right? Like Wednesday or whatever the robots say, whatever the robot machine learning algorithmic computer-driven advertising platform we are on right now decides, I would put it out on that day, and then that would be the weekly release. Or I get to do a live stream and still work on building up a library of content, of video and stuff like that. And I decided, hey, I'm going to keep doing the live streams and stay contextual with what's going on from week to week, keeping in touch with you guys, knowing what's going on, going back and forth, having a Discord community where we can talk about things that are going on, dedicate some time to that when I'm like, on a break or whatever during the day. And yeah, I decided to do that. So the current content I'm working on actually has to do with a video about a fish store I'm building, which you guys may or may not know about. I'm also working on a video about hiking, which probably doesn't sound very fish related, but believe you me, I'm trying to take this idea and put them together and have it make sense. Like, is it going to make sense? Hopefully. But we're working on that. I'm also working on a video about our fisheries and the like how important like taxpayer contributions have been to things like hydroelectric power, and how that all is moving forward in the 21st century, and hopefully like people have a more rounded knowledge base about that. I also work full time. I also have a kid. I have a blossoming young daughter who is, man, I gotta tell you, she's the twinkle in my eye. I love her very much. I have a spouse who is over there doing something with the sink right now, and so I have all that going on. Also, Alyssa Bentley, who's in the chat, we are hopefully going to start up work on her fish room sometime soon. She had a gigantic sewer main thing. I don't know if she posted it publicly, but we did get some updates on Discord. They bought an older house about a year ago, and it has been at every turn. It has been a bit of a kerfuffle, I guess is a good way to put it, with getting her fish room built, getting the house the way that they want it. They still have a long road to go, but we're working on that. I'm also working on my fish room, which actually I had to spend about 4 hours this morning working on that. I had to get a bunch of wall framing fixed. I had to fix a bunch of old framing. Is the really easy way to put it, as I had to fix a bunch of framing in my garage that was all wackadoodle. Wackadoodle is a technical term. You guys might not understand it. I know, a lot of you guys don't work on a job site. You don't know what wackadoodle means, but, if you put that word inside your mind and go, you'll probably come up with a good estimation of what was going on. But luckily, a lot of that's cleared up. I had to do lumber orders this morning, managed to handle that because I got to do them in person, which is so much easier than doing them over the phone. I've noticed that since the pandemic, like doing lumber orders over the phone, it's a not so good. It's a not so good. It's a not so great. It's a not so good. Because sometimes you just flat out get the wrong stuff sent to the job site, and then that's just a whole nother handbasket of goodness to deal with. So, but things are going pretty well. There's a lot of projects happening. It's just a balancing act and a juggling act right now. Shauna G says they are excited for the hiking video. I'm excited for the hiking video. I'm trying to organize one of the interviews for the hiking video, and I think that's happening very, very soon. Which I think is going to be a very integral part, important part of the video, because it is somebody who's a long friend of mine who recently got into hiking and has just had a wonderful epiphany behind it. And it's sort of one of those, like, I told you so things, but you can't, like, tell somebody to do something and then expect them to just, like, I believe you 100% and I will do it forever. You know what I mean? It does take them experiencing a little bit of, like, you can impart some knowledge on somebody, but until they really, like, implement it, they're like, I think that's true, but I don't know yet. But then when they test the thing that you told them about, it just really, like, they're like, oh damn, okay, got it. So is it, it's one of those things. It is what it is. Aquarium Plant Lab says I'm a busy guy, dad, fisherman, or fishman. No, I'm not a fisherman. I gotta tell you guys, I have done a lot of fishing in my day. I actually enjoy fishing. I think it's I enjoy it. It just never hits the top of my priority list. These days, being an old dude, being an old guy who's like, damn, I got a million things to do. Fishing just meets the bottom of the list, and I'm like, I don't have an operating fish tank right now at my house, and that is at the top of my priority list. I've got to get a new tank. Well, not a new tank. Blah blah. You guys get what I'm saying. I got to get some of my tanks set up. In order to do that, I have to finish this little fish room. So, it's going to be one of those things. Zafar says, hello, friend. How are you? I'm doing well. I can't complain about how I'm doing. I'm doing fairly well. The smoke around here has been it's been a little bit rough at the end of the smoke season here. It's smoke season where I live. It's wildfire season right over that way. 50 miles that way is wildfire season. Wildfire I guess you could have a fire here. It's not fireproof where I live by any stretch of the imagination, but there's a lot of firefighting infrastructure right where I live. So if a fire broke out, it normally gets extinguished pretty rapidly. But if you go about 50 miles that way, it's all trees and mountains and hard to put out, and it's burning, and it's all smoky down here. Although, the other day, Vicky and I, yesterday, as a matter of fact, this was yesterday. I don't know if you guys have ever been through this, the situation where you order some shoes online. You're like, I need some new work shoes. I'm going to order them online. These are the ones that I want because the ones that I used to wear are discontinued by the manufacturer. They don't make those anymore. And I don't know about you guys, but there's a part of my insides that are so sad about something so stupid like a specific shoe. And it has to do with my childhood and rock climbing and hiking and all that. And when I was a kid, I always wanted these specific shoes. All of the cool old guys that I knew wore these shoes. They're the best shoes ever, and they don't make them anymore. They're like, we don't make those now. So I found a different company, La Sportiva, which is a very expensive shoe. I'm going to tell you, they're made in Europe or something. Hold on, let me check where La Sportivas are made. La Sportiva shoes are made where? Made in where? Made in where? Italy. They're Italian. The Italianos are making them. And I got to tell you, their shoe sizing is bonkers bad. I don't know what they're doing. They're on their own thing. They're on their own sizing. It probably could have something to do with why they elected their new PM. Is it a PM there or a president? They might be a president, but it could be part of their problem. Could be part of their malfunction. But regardless, I get these shoes. They come in the mail. I try them on, and they are literally it's not deal with it a little too small. You know what I mean? It's not like, boy howdy, I'm gonna get rough and rowdy in these shoes, and they'll stretch out or whatever or any of that stuff. It just not happening. That's not a function that would happen. So I basically was like, all right, we got to do what we got to do. And I had to return them to the store. Now, the only store I could return them to was all the way down in Seattle, which is a nightmare because going down to Seattle it's not so much the drive. The drive isn't that far. It's not that bad. It's like a half an hour. If there's no car crashes. If there's a car crash, like, forget about it. I'm just going to not go. But the big thing is parking down there, man. Like, parking is crazy tough in Seattle. Just like any big city out there, parking ain't great. It ain't a great situation. Anyhow, went down there, lucked out, got the right shoes, full size bigger. I thought it was going to have to be like a half size bigger. Nope, full size bigger. But I got them. We swapped them. We got out of there. I ate some of the worst fish and chips I've ever had in my entire life. But regardless of that, we were driving up north, and Vicky and I were driving on I-5 in Western Washington. We're driving north, and it's like, there's a little bit of smoke up there. There's a little bit of smoke up there. What's going on? A little bit of smoke up there. And we're driving, and then we realize, oh crap, the whole side of the freeway's on fire. But the fire has not gotten super big yet. It's still pretty small, but it's a rager. And so we called it in, and the lady was like, oh, you're the second people to call it in. So I expect we're going to get a lot more calls, but they're on their way, and blah, blah, blah. And didn't hear anything from it behind that. But it was very interesting yesterday to realize, like, you know, somebody threw a cigarette or something out the window and lit the side of the road on fire. And that's always a bummer. That's always a bummer. You know what I mean? Like, I understand people still want to smoke cigarettes. I smoked for a million years up until, I don't know, 4 years ago or something like that. But just don't throw them out the window, because you know that's what it was. You know, like, what other thing was starting a fire on the side of the road, you know? Sky Dancer says, thanks for the super chat. Have a good day, Fish Tank Barn. Oh, well, thanks, Fish Tank Barn. I will, I don't know. There's a word. Samesies? Yeah. $5 for the tip jar. Have a good afternoon, evening. Have to run to my daughter's volleyball game. Ooh. I know Fish Tank Barnes posted some volleyball game pictures on his Instagram. They pop up every once in a while in my feed. And I'm like, oh, man, look at that. Being quite successful at the volleyballs. That's always good. We're trying to get Olivia into soccer right now. She's not vibing. She's not vibing with it bad. Like, she doesn't hate it, but I don't know if she's, like, deeply into it. So we're gonna try out gymnastics and dancing, dance class and gymnastics. We're gonna try that next and see what goes. Swimming, she likes the swimming classes. Still doesn't want to get her face in the water. Like, just starts crying if she gets water all over her face, and that's just, you know, like, I think that's just gonna be how it is. You know what I mean? That's just going to be how it is. Wesley's Fish Club is here. What's up? He says, hello, beautiful peoples. He luckily was at Vivarium. Apparently he got a hat from Corey in person out there at Vivarium. If anybody else was at Vivarium, let me know. If you were there, you should have hit up Corey for some swag, some aquarium co-op swag, because I know he brought a bunch. I don't know what he brought, but I know he brought a bunch. Aubrey says, I mean, most fishermen are liars. Yeah. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but these fishermen, we're going to review a video here in a second. Let me add. Where's the YouTube widget? Oh, there it is right there. Anyhow, we're going to watch a video here in a second of some kooky fisherman shenanigans. But yeah, I don't think they're all liars, but you know, it's one thing to say the fish that got away. That's all fine. One of the things that I wanted to talk about a little bit was the biggest fibs, the biggest lies that I see from fishermen nowadays are the gigantic female halibuts that they put back. Because I don't know if this counts for all fish, but I know for a fact this counts for halibut, is that they realized at one point that the larger the halibut, the more halibut it will have. So it's going to breed more halibut every time. More babies, which is going to mean more fish next year, right? More fish next year, more fish 5 years from now. You're going to get a lot bigger brood from them, or spawn, whatever you want to call it. So nowadays it's a real faux pas to pull in a gigantic female in Alaska. So a lot of times the big fisherman story up there will be like, I pulled in this 500-pound female, but you know, we had to let her back because it's best for the halibut, you know, because we're gonna have more halibut next year, you know, because we got to do that. We got to be responsible, you know. We got to remember to be responsible. That's where the big fisherman story these days that I run into. I never hear anybody talk about a giant salmon or any of that kind of stuff that the O's on the line, and then, you know, mainly because people like people have a cell phone in their pocket now, so they could like take a picture of the giant fish that they caught, right? DKLA says, I just received those boots after a 2.5-year wait. Wow, man, that's a long wait for some boots. I'll tell you that much. I mean, we did the whole thing from city line to the sewer line out, and I think we spent like $35K on all that. Yeah, yep, that's a brutal one. It is. That's an intense amount of money. Oh. I feel bad about that because I feel like I know you guys got a sewer inspection. I don't know if you guys got like a front end plumbing inspection or not. But I mean, I feel like anybody that would have put the camera down that pipe would have known, man, there's some wacky stuff going on here. You guys should probably, consider talking to the homeowner before you buy the house. But maybe they did see it, or maybe they didn't see it, or maybe they did see it and thought it wasn't a big deal, but it definitely turned into a big deal. And I think from Alyssa and I investigating some of the stuff going on in the basement there, that there was a high likelihood that they probably knew that was happening, but there's no way to prove that. You know what I mean? And even if you could prove it, it's not like you're going to make any money out of it. But it is a bummer, dude. It's a huge bummer. It's a huge bummer, and it's not a lot of fun to deal with that kind of crap. But I think we all have to deal with this. I think we all have to deal with this home ownership in whatever way that we can. We got on some good news for the fish room out here. You guys know that I've had to bring down these. I got some gigantic trees on the side yard here. I haven't posted any pictures of them or anything like that, just because of stalkers. You know what I mean? It's just a reality. You have to kind of you gotta pick your places when you're posting stuff to the old internet. You never know. You just never know. So I haven't posted any pictures of them, but needless to say, they're 100-foot high trees. They're really tall. They're overgrown. And we did get a couple bids like a month ago to get these trees taken out. And neither Vicky or I were feeling very good about the bids that we got, and some of the guys didn't even show up. So obviously I don't feel good about that. But some of the numbers they were throwing out seemed a little high to me. But we had a friend who's a tree removal contractor come by, and his number was about 2,000 less than the other numbers we were getting. So, needless to say, we're gonna have him put us on the schedule to get those trees out. Once those trees are out, that's really step one to moving forward on the on building a new building for a fish room and stuff, which is nice. It's probably at best a year from now we're really gonna be getting anything going, but to get those trees out is going to be a big deal, because then I can rebuild the fence and do a bunch of other things ahead of time that need to get done, and and it will make everybody happy. Everybody will be happy. So other than the trees won't be happy about it, but they have no say. It's really 5 overgrown, oversized trees that they also give me a pretty bad vibe for any kind of big windstorm coming through. It's not gonna be that good. You know what I mean? Alyssa says they told it was fine in the initial sewer inspection. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I guess it is what it is. Do we have any questions today? Alyssa, turns out her male pleco is not impotent. Well, that is good. The male is breeding. The male bristlenose is actually breeding. That is good. I'm talking about guys who put weights in the walleye. I'm assuming you were talking about the guys who put the weights in the walleye down in Ohio. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, it's about as bad as it gets. Let me run over to this video real quick. Yeah. Wait, can you guys hear
If I
sounds?
had to guess how you got them, you drove all the way over to Lorraine and you fished your stomping grounds and you guys beat them up in Beaver. That's your spot.
No, we went east.
East.
Snap weights.
Let me get my
That's your staples. Snap baits or snap weights and crankbaits. We're digging the mud, right?
There we go.
No, we were probably about halfway down in 72 feet of water.
72 feet of water, getting those baits down there. We're using offshore snaps. There you go. Offshore
Of course, it's in
snaps, one of
vertical
our
video.
sponsors. Good work, guys. Currently new
So you guys
leaders.
get the idea
Steve
at the beginning
Sicko,
here.
Chris French, 28-18. Good work, guys. Hold them fish up for us.
Let me turn the sound off here. So you guys get the idea. This is what you would normally see at the presentation weigh-in time. It's like some guys, a trailer, a stand. People are bringing up their stuff. So people are giving them a hard time, whatever, this and that, the other. I've been to a couple of these, and they're very sort of formal, informal, right? It's like we got the guys, we got a guy on a PA who's like the color commentator or whatever, and people are doing their weigh-in, they're getting their pictures taken, and then this is a competition, so like there's a prize for like how much people are going to be making here. I don't know how much the prize is, but I've definitely seen prize pools of $20,000 for these little competitions where people go out and they catch walleye and stuff like that. This part's all pretty boring, but as they're going through the weigh-ins here, people are doing quite well. There's like, some people about 20 pounds, 16 pounds, 18 pounds, 20. I think 22 pounds is like the leader when somebody comes up and they have 33 pounds.
Team of the year race leaders. Our second
And I think it's like right here.
Fish.
I think it's right here.
790. Weighing in big fish. 790. Weighing in 5. I gotta tell you, you gotta be 33.91.
Yeah. Here, these guys come in at 33 pounds, almost 34 pounds, right? And some people are just like, this is BS. This is total nonsense, right? And you pardon the swearing in the background or whatever. Like, if you don't want to hear swearing, there is swearing in this because it's just people out in the. It's a bunch of fishermen out in the parking lot, and some people see them take the pictures. It's these two guys. They see them take the pictures, and people are just like, this is BS. Like, get those fish out. Bring those fish out here. I want to look at them. I want to see what's going on. And the announcer guy goes over. It's somewhere. Where was it? Where was it in this video? It might be right. Yeah, it's like right up in here. Yeah, it's right after this. They're cutting open the fish and opening the fish up to find out what's going on. And this guy right here, straight up. He screams in the guy's face, "Get him out of here!" Or whatever. They find the weights in the fish. Now, I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know. I haven't seen like the official release or anything like that. But those dudes have apparently won a whole bunch of fishing contests like year after year after year. So it's who are the two guys? Let me scroll down here. Yeah. A guy gets busted with weights in his fish, 8 pounds of weights and a pair of pliers. You're throwing the pair of pliers for good measure. Yeah, apparently Jake Runyon and Chase Kaminsky are the two accused cheaters, right? I don't know, alleged cheaters. I don't know if that actually is them or if they actually did cheat, but that seems to be what this video is about. I'm going to tell you, a lot of people sent me this video as if like I'm the fishing guy because I like fish tanks and I like fish. So I'm going to tell you, a lot of people that don't have fish tanks and stuff sent me this video like, oh my God, what do you think? What's your take on this? Yeah, so these guys $30,000 is what they would have would have made. So it's $30,000 they were cheating for. And it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild stuff that people would send me this because they're like, "Oh my God, these guys are cheating." Mr. Robertson said placing weights into fish was a primitive and sloppy way to cheat, as seen with the suspicious Mr. Fisher. I would like to say that a 5 foot tall person weighing 500 pounds, but you look at him and he looks like an athlete. These fish were so bulging. Yeah, and it was one of those things. The first time I watched that video, because I was like, I don't know why people are sending this to me. I'm not really sure what's going on. My initial interpretation was like, why are these fish all swollen up? Like, they look all swollen, unusually bloated, and weird. And then you go, oh, okay, that's how they cheated. It hadn't occurred to me that they would have stuck lead weights. Do I know words? Boy, guys, I know words good. It wouldn't have occurred to me to stick lead weight. God, I'm doing it again. I made fun of myself. Lead weights. It wouldn't have occurred to me to stick lead weights into the fish as a way to cheat, because what I've always seen out of these fish weigh-in competitions is that everyone brings their fish in a live well, and they bring fish in a bucket. They're still alive. They're unaltered, right? They're not dead. Where every weigh-in I've ever gone to, the fish were alive. Like, they were, guys would bring them up in a bucket. They would throw them in that bag, that fish bag thing, weigh it, and then stick it in a bucket. They take the next one out, stick it in the bag, weigh it, throw it in a bucket with water, at least keep them alive, just as proof, like, I caught these today. Because I think the weirdest thing is that, like, somebody could have caught some big fish and then just brought them in, like, they caught them yesterday and then bring them in today, right, or whatever. So it's like, it's bizarre that they would think, like, I'm just going to stick weights in here. Because the way that I've always seen in the past is that people would catch giant fish. They would catch a big fish of what is in the competition, and then they'll put them in those what do you call them? The trap baskets. It's like an underwater crab pot, or crab pots are underwater. What is wrong with me right now? Guys, I'm having a Monday. I'm having a case of the Monday. The thing down there says it's a record high temperature, and our weather forecast is haze, which means it's smoky outside. I'm losing my mind. It's Monday. Okay, let me start over here and make a little sense. A day or two before the competition, or maybe even a week before the competition, or 2 weeks before the competition, people would catch a large, what they think is a trophy-winning fish. They take that fish and they put it in an underwater cage, similar to a crab pot, existing underwater. The fish is caught in there, and they'll just swim around and be in there for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, however long they plan to have them down there. Then on the day that they go out to go fishing, they go out to that lake and they catch, air quote, these fish, right? I know that there have been some other sneaky ways in which people have done that. As reported in the comment section of that video, a guy is talking about some guys that had a basket hanging off the back of a trawler. So the barge would actually go around the lake, but the basket would hang, so it was moving and pulling them through water. So they would stay pretty healthy whilst trapped in their underwater cage situation. But that's how I've always seen people be cheaters in the past, or at least accused of cheating. But these guys literally just stuck lead inside the fish. They just stuck lead inside the fish, so they went up on the scales. They tipped the scales so far that there's just no way that anybody believed them. There's just no way Like the people literally standing right there, just outraged, and said like, "You got to get that guy. You got to get those fish right now up there, inspect them, find out what's going on." It's just unbelievable. And it's just kind of the funny thing. So my takeaways from having seen fish weigh in before was just like, wow, somebody made like 20 grand fishing this weekend. And of course, like the guys that I know that are into sort of competitive fishing, I've had like long conversations with them. Like, what do you think about it? Like, is it something that blah, 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 blah. And, you know, it really is one of those things. Like if you're an upper echelon guy, you're going to be spending a lot of money. You're going to be making some money, but the chances of you probably investing a lot of time and money into something that probably won't net you any money, it's probably not all that worth it for it to try to go into it to be a money-making scheme. But apparently these guys have won a bunch of times, and now it's putting into question their legacy. Their legacy victories are all in question now. And so you got a real Lance Armstrong type situation on your hands here. You go, well, it's competition fishing. What is it affecting the world, really? Is this affecting the world? You know, it's like Lance Armstrong. It's like, it's cycling. Is it affecting the world? I don't know. But clearly there's some cheating going on here, and that's not good because no one likes that. No one likes that whole situation, right? So, I don't know. Hopefully these guys get busted. They find out what's going on and probably just should ban them from the sport altogether. I can't imagine their sponsors keeping them around. It doesn't make any sense to me that any sponsors would want to be like, hey, we're the fishing lures of the cheaters. That's us, man. We're the lures of the cheaters. Buy our lures and throw lead weights in your fish. That doesn't sound like a good idea to me, but the whole situation is just extraordinarily chaotic. There's so many moving parts. Things are just so deep. There's so much depth to the story that it's just unbelievable, right? They needed 16 pounds and came in over 30 pounds. Most fishermen can eyeball weight, so coming in almost twice as heavy is just blatant cheating. Yeah, that's the weird thing. Oh, did they need only 16? I thought they needed like 20 or something like that. Was 16 the top? Like, Aubrey will let us know. Yeah, it was wild that like the other scores that I saw there were like 16, and I heard the guy say 24 at one point in the video, so I assumed that 24 was the top, but maybe 16 was the top. And they came in at 34 pounds. So that's pretty wild. I mean, if you could have come in at 24 pounds, it would have been like, wow, hell of a day, guy. But 34 pounds, what their final was 33.97 or something like that, right? So it's just a buck wild, nonsensical story, really, when you get down to it. It's like, but probably somebody's livelihood is on the line right now. I wonder what the fallout will bring. Maybe it'll bring more people over to the fish tank hobby, right? Fish tanking, which most people that cheat in the fish tanking here, they cheat with Photoshop. That's how they cheat. There's been a lot of intrigue. There's been a lot of speculation at a lot of the aquascaping contests, because the aquascaping contests, people just send in pictures of their tank, right? And there's been a lot of allegations of Photoshop cheaters, right? There's been a lot of Photoshop cheaters out there, and nothing that I can substantiate personally, but I've definitely heard quite a bit from a lot of people, and definitely a lot of Reddit threads of people like zooming in on people's images and stuff to try to figure out what's real or what's fake or what might not be fake or what is fake or what's going on. But I think realistically that's always been my apprehension. Two things have been my apprehension. Just ending up the 5,000 out of 5,000, like just coming in dead last. That's always going to be there, right? You're always going to have that apprehension. But the other one is that, like, if I was to put my aquascapes in the IALPC or whatever, I always thought, like, I'm in a competition with camera equipment. I'm in a competition with Photoshop people. I'm in a competition with people that don't have a job, right? Like there's some of the people out there doing aquascaping, like they don't have a job. They're just unemployed people. They're sitting around at home, and I always wondered if I was going to be on an even playing field, and so I just a long time ago decided like, yeah, I'm not going to submit to that because my Photoshop skills aren't that good, and blah blah blah. So I don't know. Maybe that's what began. I don't know if that's what began. That might have been what kickstarted my interest in getting back into photography, though. It could be. Very well could be. DKLA says, Marco, Pantani's drug use didn't keep me from buying a Bianchi. Well, I don't think anybody's fishing cheating extravaganza is going to keep you from buying a boat, like a bass boat or something like that. Because like a Bianchi, a race bike, those things are pretty expensive. I mean, I looked at bikes the other day, and I say the other day, it was a couple months ago, but we were looking at possibly buying some road bikes for Vicky and I, and then it's like, when are we going to go? I don't know. But we were looking at some bikes, and bikes are like $4 or $5 grand, and I don't think somebody that's sponsored is going to make you choose between the one that you like better than the other one. I personally don't think, but it probably would sway people on low ticket items, which is generally what most companies rely on is all the small stuff sales. The small stuff sales is what generally drives the success of a business or not. You would think it's the high end stuff. It's not really the high end stuff, though. Just some people have a mindset of anything to win. That's true. I think some people do have that mindset. Well, Munchkin was absolutely not going to let me watch by going back to sleep on the drive, so maybe next week. Have a good day. Oh, Catherine, I know how that is. The best laid plans when it comes to kids' naps, You're trying to get those naps. You try to get those kids' naps, and you're like, yes, we're going to be on schedule. They're going to have a snack. They're going to be ready. They're going to have them go potty. You're going to blah, blah, blah. It's going to be nap time. Oh, my God, it's going to be like 2 hours. I get to do not taking care of a baby, and they let you down. They let you down, and it, man, it is, it's destructive to your mental. You know what I mean? The mental takes a huge hit. And I got to tell you, as being somebody who's an elderly parent, I'm elderly when it comes to parenting. I'm ancient, dude. I'm like, I'm the oldest guy. I'm the oldest guy around. It's I have to admit, like going into it, I had maybe a different expectation. I don't know like how far off my expectation was, but it is relentless dealing with kids. I'll tell you that. It just does not stop. I straight up does not stop. Even if she's over at grandma or grandpa's or whatever, you're like just trying to figure out what's going on. Trying to make sure that everything's okay. You're never in a position of going like, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Everything is fine. It's like, no. Something's effed up. Something's effed up. It's always in the back of your mind, like something's screwed up. It's a weird stress. It's a weird stress that billions of people know about, but the people that don't, they just won't until it comes around to them, right? Also, we got to consider the like button. Just consider it. Just consider the like button. I haven't seen any questions today. There's nothing ending in a question mark in the chat. Let me pop over to the Discord and see if anybody is there any callers today? I wonder if there's going to be any callers today. Let's hop into the green room. Let me go over here. Any callers today? No? Okay, I haven't seen any callers yet. Matt's playing Minecraft. I can't log into my Minecraft account. I have been trying to, and I can't log in. Let's see. Oh, I'm supposed to do it into this chat. At here, or is it anyone? Do we at anyone? No, that doesn't work. We got to do at here, right? You wanna call in today? All right, let's see if anybody calls in. We'll see if we get any callers today. Probably not. My my Monday time slot is not very. It's not very popular. People don't like this. People don't like this Monday time slot. Wesley's Fish Club is asking, when's the store expansion finished? I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I don't have one. I don't have an answer. I wish I had an answer for that, but I just go in and work as diligently as I can on continuing moving the project forward. I finished a fish packing station this last week. I did a bunch of trim work and skirting some of the tank stands. And I got to do a bunch of. The next part is move over. I don't know. I have to look at my list what the next part is, but I have a whole bunch. I have a whole bunch of stuff. Hold on. I gotta. There's an eyebrow hair here somewhere. It's gonna try and get in my eye. Load this screen. Why is the screen not loading? Why is the screen not loading? This screen is loading slowly. Oh, dear Lord. It's the wrong screen. Okay, here we go. Okay. Hold on. I'll grab it. DK is asking a question. Oh, my God. Where'd it go? Oh, it's over here. Oh. It's heavy. It's heavy, bros. Amazon requires... Or, sorry, not Amazon. The Federal Trade Commission of the United States of America requires me to tell you that I am an Amazon affiliate. So if you buy stuff through the Amazon affiliate link, it gives me a commission. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's quite low, and it doesn't change your price. So if you want to buy stuff, you can. But DKLA is asking me what my favorite lens is to use. That's the link to it. I wonder if there's a refurbished one. New and open box. Let's see if there's a cheaper one. There's one that's like $100 off. That's open box, but that looks to be about it. This is a highly desirable lens. This took me a very long time to save up for, and then it was the rest of it was gifted by my spouse for my birthday. This is the Canon RF 100 to 500, and I've considered painting this thing because it's white, and people will go like, you know, you get this thing going out, and then you add the lens hood on, and it's like, you know, you're taking pictures from back here, you know, and you're like, people are like, oh my God, look at this guy, look at that guy over there. It's an eye catcher. People will straight up come over and just start talking to you about your camera. Okay. It's straight up going to attract attention. But you could generally shoot from far enough away that you're going to be attracting attention from people that you're not taking pictures of. So that's a thing. Or animals that you're taking a picture of. It is... It's one of those things that, like, it's a wonderful lens. It has an extreme amount of range, but like I said, the big downside to it, I mean, I guess it's heavy. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, it's heavy. To me, it's manageable weight as far as I'm concerned. But the big downside to it is that people come over and they want to know what you're doing. That's the big downside to it. So if you wanted to avoid that, you could get this lens right here. It's a 70-300. It's quite good. It's very old. I got this thing used off of KLP or something like that. I got this off of a used camera equipment site, and then I have an adapter for it. This thing is way cheaper, and honestly, if somebody stole this, I would be sad, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't be jumping off a thing or anything like that. DKLA says, I love my Canon EOS 3. Do you have an R3 or just a 3? Like an old SLR 3? I don't know. If you have an R3 and you're not a member on this channel, I'm going to be super pissed. Not in a real way, but like, come on now. You'd be walking around with like a how much is a R3 now? I mean, now it's not like the price has gone down. $6,000 camera. I mean, to be honest with you, I really want to try out an R3 and see what it's like. But there's no way I could afford a $6,000 camera. I mean, I could technically buy a $6,000 camera. I don't think I can afford a $6,000 camera. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah, I can't afford it. I could buy it, but I can't afford it. There's a strong distinction there between the two. I could save for it, but it's going to take quite a while. I'll put it that way. What the hell is this? I just got a bunch of garbage emails. Life insurance? No, I don't. I don't want a bunch of life insurance emails. Obviously, one of the weird things about buying a house is that you go through this phase of the mortgage is selling your email address. Steve Bertich says, "Hey Joel, are you looking into getting solar panels on your roof?" You know what? We went through that whole solar panel situation down in Tacoma, and we have considered it here, but the unfortunate thing is that it's not cost effective. You know, we just got the roof redone. We just redid the roof here. So it was even in our talks, like while we were doing all the stuff here. But it's one of those things, you know, we would end up outputting, you know, probably $40,000, I think, realistically. I think on the low end is like 25, the high end is like 40, or the high end is like 60, so you want to land somewhere in the middle. We could put that money out, but we wouldn't be generating any money from our solar panels. Does that make sense? The way that the current contract is in Western Washington is that they're not going to buy back the electricity. So if that comes back and you can get in on the electrical buyback, let me see if it's. I haven't looked into it in a little bit, but yeah, I'd have to look this up because it's so heavily advertised. Let me. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Let's look into it for a second. Since 2008, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. I'm not seeing where the Washington State buyback is at right now. There's CPS Energy. That's not here because okay. So we want. Let's see if we can't. PSC Washington. Let's see if we can't like focus in on what we're trying to find here. If you offer rebates, Washington Clean Energy Buyback Program. Is this the right one? Yeah, I mean, this looks... So the big issue is that, like, we could eliminate our electric bill, right? But we're only talking about like 100 or even like on a crazy month, like $150 a month. So game that out over a year. Let's say it's $2,000. Let's just say keep a round number and go $2,000 a year in electric cost. Right. So if we spent $40,000, we would have to live here for 20 years before we broke even on the money that we spent on the solar panels, right? So unless yeah, net metering is what you need. But you need net metering to get paid. It would take me a minute to look this up, but essentially what was going on is they were paying 7 cents a kilowatt or something like that. I forget what the price was exactly, but what happens is you're creating solar during the day. Your solar is creating electricity during the day. That surplus electricity goes back into the power grid, and then from there, oh, nobody's calling in. We have no callers today. Okay. That excess electricity goes back into the power grid, and then the power company sells that to somebody else, right? They play the middleman, right, and pay you for the electricity that you generated instead of paying like the hydroelectric dam or whatever company's creating the electricity that day. That program where I live in Western Washington was full. So you could sign up to be on a waiting list to get into that program. Now, the rates that program was paying out was going to expire in 2021. It was last year, because we were looking at this at the beginning of 2020. And so the big issue there is that contract was going to expire. So if we went into spending all this money and we were on the waiting list, and then maybe we weren't on that waiting list, but then that contract expired, and then let's say there was 3 or 4 years of negotiating to get the contract back, right? Then we would be not making money off of our investment over that period of time. So there's really no reason for us to have spent the money to do it, right? I don't know how to like kind of verbalize this, but like you're making a financial investment in something that's supposed to generate money towards your house, not just cover the bill. Because if we're talking about covering the electric bill, it's basically $150 a month, sort of like at most. So you're looking at probably like $2,000 a year. To offset $2,000 a year, right, you could just create $2,000 worth of income, right, is a lot easier than spending, say, $38,000 and then hoping to make back that $2,000, because your bill won't go to zero, because at the very least your bill is still going to have the connection charge, which is like, I think it's $15.95 a month to be connected to the grid. So you're going to get that charge. You're also going to get city and state taxes regarding to being connected to the power grid. So I think they said even if you have zero charge, it's still like $25. So that chips into it, and then doing maintenance on the solar panels, that chips into it. So unless you have the excess power generated buyback to get credit on your bill and actually get a check in the mail when it reaches a certain point, it's not going to be valuable for the average person to spend that money as an investment, because I would say from a personal standpoint, if you were sitting on $40,000 or $50,000, like let's say you were sitting on $40,000 or $50,000 in cash, what I would do is buy another property. That's what I would do personally. If you're sitting on that much cash, just buy another property. Use it as down to buy another property. Like what? And here's one of the things that you could do potentially is that, let's say you buy another property, you finance it, but what you want to do is rent out the house that you live in now, because you could fix up the house you live in now, have it ready for a renter, and then your income will be offset by having a lease already signed. So like, let's say you rent your house out for $2,000 a month and your mortgage is $1,500 a month. That's going to offset those costs, and you would still qualify for a loan to buy another property. Does that make sense? Now, maybe you move into this other property and start to fix up that place until it's ready to rent or whatever. Yeah, John Ward says, when we had solar panels in Texas, we paid about $40,000 and saved about $100 a month on our electric bill. Yeah, that's the big issue. So, like, you're generating electricity that is being sold by a company, right? Even if it's a publicly held company, privately held company, it doesn't matter. They're selling the thing that you're producing, which is the excess electricity, right? So your net metering might go backwards down to zero, and you have, air quote, no electric bill, right? But like John said, about $100 a month. It's $1,200. That's $1,200 a month in savings. So let's do 40,000, and let's divide that by 1,200. So that leaves us with 33.3 years, right? So that's even longer than most people's 30-year mortgage, right? Because you're probably already in on the mortgage. It's going to be 30 years before you have, air quote, paid off the out-of-pocket money that you've spent on the solar panels. Now, I think solar panels are 100% worth it. They're awesome technology. I think people should invest in them. But you need to be in an investment position to correctly do an investment, right? Like, let's say I take all of my money and I lock it in to some kind of CD that's a 10-year CD, right? Like, let's say I have $100,000 and I take all of it and I put it into a CD for 10 years. You can't do anything with that money. And if whatever is going on with that CD is just sitting there and, like, let's say it's making 4% or something, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to be cool with 4% after 10 years. That's going to be great. Yeah, but in 5 years, maybe inflation is at 7%, right? Maybe inflation is at 7% year over year, and you're not out earning inflation, right? Like, you're actually kind of going backwards on something that you're locked in on, like buying solar panels. You're locked in on owning something that's supposed to be making you money, right? Because it's an investment that's supposed to be an investment towards your property and your, your family and your net worth and all that stuff, So it's like, I think investing is important, and especially like if you're in a family position or any kind of position or whatever, and you want to build some of your, position in the world, like investing in things to have some, even if you have a little bit of money to like do stuff with, like definitely do stuff. Like don't just sit on it, Back then electric was cheap. Well, electric's still cheap in Washington. I don't know what's going on in Texas. Every time I read anything about Texas, I'm like, I don't understand why anybody lives there. And the answer I always get is like, because my freedom is good. And I'm like, you're being oppressed by like paying all this extra money to crap that you shouldn't. So I don't understand the freedom standpoint, but okay. Noser says, I'm surprised those guys I am surprised those guys made it out alive. Yeah, I'm surprised that there wasn't some more extreme reactions, I guess would be the way to put it. I would have expected somebody to pull a gun out. For 30 grand and you just were in that, somebody cheated you. I don't know. I would have expected some real bad decisions being made, but luckily it was just a lot of yelling from what I understand. John Ward says it's too damn hot. We moved back to the southeast, which is wild to think about. It's wild to think like it was too hot in Texas, so I moved to the southeast. I moved to Georgia. Right? I don't know. I mean, every time I've been in Georgia, it was like, God dang, it's hot, man. It's hot out here, dude. What's going on with the temperature, bros? But yeah, I guess it's all relative, right? You can only have one aquarium plant for the rest of your life. Which would it be? FYI, my name used to be Northwest Aqua Hobby. I switched it up. Oh, okay, that's why. I was confused by that, but yeah, okay. It used to be Northwest Aqua Hobby, okay. Which we had planned to like go meet up and have a coffee or something. We should do that at some point in time. I'm still into that. I just don't know when. It's like every time I think I have some spare time, there's a million things that get added in, and I even missed a barbecue this last weekend because we didn't even know. It wasn't on our calendar. It didn't pop up on our notification thing or whatever. I don't know why. Both me and Vicky and I both F that one up pretty hard because we were supposed to go to that and we didn't. And I feel real bad about it. It's real stupid, but I don't know. If I had to pick one plant, and I saw that Alyssa said crypts, because I think realistically, if I had to pick one plant, it probably would have been crypts. There's just so many varieties of the cryptocoroini that you could never really get. I don't think, well, you could not you, but I feel like I could never get too bored going through all the different kinds of crypts. You know what I mean? There's so many. Nobody called in because Alyssa's using a Dremel, which is actually interesting. I wouldn't have expected that at all. Probably because there's a huge variety of my Palecos don't seem to want to eat them. Oh, that's a good point. I just, to me, like the crypts, there's just so many. There's so many that I've kept, and I feel like every month there's like somebody's come up with a new varietal that they've crossbred with something or messed with or found. They do keep finding them too, which is always great. Like if you could find them. My guess is the other one would be probably like Anubias. If I had to pick like Anubias, probably. Yeah, I mean it's a rough. Oh, you just said Anubias. Okay, so now I'm not very OG over here. I'm not very original today. You know what I mean? So yeah, it must be some other plant. Must be vowels or something, you know. Yeah. Oh my God, a member chat from Janice says, "I miss you." Oh, I missed you too. Janice is long time no see. Well, I've been here. I don't know where you've been, Janice. But yeah, I missed you too. I miss you guys, man. Like I miss it when people aren't around, you know. And I understand it's 2022. Everybody's stressed out. People got that stress eyes, you know. They're walking around. I'm stressed out, you know. They got a lot of that going on. So Monday's probably not that great a day to be live streaming, but it also keeps it kind of chill around here. You know what I mean? Like that's the upside, you know. We don't end up with like 30,000 people blasting through the chat. Although, you know, if we do hit 500 members, I got to get the moist tattoo. We've never been in danger of hitting 500 members. We would definitely need some strong membership gifting if we were going to hit the 500 members. We've never been close. We've never even been close. What was our closest? I know we looked it up last stream, and then some people canceled their memberships because I looked it up. Where's the all-time button? There's got to be an all-time button. Line chart daily total. We want line chart total. Oh no, custom range. Here we go. Custom range lifetime. There it is. Whoa. What was our high water mark? 101. I think 101 is the most. Yep. We went down and then we went back up and then the pandemic hit. Boy howdy, then the pandemic hit. Pandemic hit strong. People went away. They just couldn't do it anymore. And then a bunch of people came back and then, they couldn't do it anymore. You know what I mean? So that's how it is. We got a bunch of years on this line chart here. It's not making a whole lick of sense. Let's stop lifetime and let's go last 365. How about that? That might make a little more sense. Okay, here we go. That one looks good. Okay. Alyssa says, I thought you got up to 108 at one point. Let's see. Let's go. All right, let's go custom so that we can go backwards. Let's go custom. Let's go 2019. Okay, apply. Okay, here we go. High water mark. Oh, wait a minute. You might be right. No, 103. I mean, as far as this chart goes, it says 103. 103 was the high water mark. Apply. Here we go. We're getting closer. It doesn't go back. Here's the issue. It doesn't go back. For some reason, there's no time. Okay. We may have hit 108. We may have hit 108, and you might be right, but for some reason, the thing's not going back. It's broken. So the light, okay, never mind. This whole thing's broken. It doesn't go back farther. It says there's no data for this period with a big exclamation mark triangle. Danger sign, right? So I don't know what that's all about, but maybe next week it'll work properly. I don't know. We'll take a look at it next week and see. Maybe 108 is the high water mark. Could be. Could very well be. But yeah, it's been a brutal year, man. I got to admit, the highs have been high, the lows have been low this year. I'm telling you, the highs are high, the lows are low. That's how this 2022 has been like that. It's whoop 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 whoop. It's doing all this wacky nonsense, and it's a real weird one. In Canada, my dad was in the hospital for 5 months, put up quite a fight, but lost it on September 13th. Oh no, I'm so sorry to hear that. That is, it's like the most painful thing, and we're all gonna have to experience it, right? We're all gonna have to experience it. And I saw like a wonderful quote today from what's his name? Hold on, I can look this up. This will take a second. Frank Lloyd Wright says, I believe in God, only I spell it nature, which was kind of interesting. I was really kind of thinking about that today while I was wandering about doing work and smacking things with hammers and all that. And I was really thinking about that. And I think the very interesting part of a quote like that is I'm very much in agreement with that. And that's one of those things that you go like, well, like nature is relentless and it just continues moving forward regardless of whatever happens. We're all going to die. We all instinctually like try to avoid death because it is a painful thing. And I think it's really one of those deals that like we're all going to have to encounter it. We're all going to have to like kind of figure out how to deal with it and stuff like that. But it is like wholly the most painful thing that we're all going to have to deal with. I'm just kind of going through life expecting there to be nothing after it so that I can do my best to enjoy all of my days here on the planet. What was his name? Bo Burnham said it great, that he was like one of those interesting things where he mentions that, what if Earth is actually heaven? Like, what if this is the afterlife after after the previous life, right? And we're just out here like, hey guys, I'm really worried about the economic structures and things. Like, how can we make more money, right? And you're like, what is this the heaven place where we're supposed to not be doing that? Oh yeah, I don't know. FLW is a jerk, but I do like his work. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, people can be jerks and say things that are profound. As a chef, do you trim your beef tongue before or after cooking? After. Always after. I never trim ahead. That's a waste of time and energy, and it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out as well. Because trimming beef tongue after it's been cooked is a matter of just peeling it. It's nothing. And I know a lot of people are freaked out by beef tongue, but it's actually quite good. So I don't know. But the cook time on it is wacky long. So I mean, I don't know. That's probably why it's not as popular. Most cuts of meats that require a long period of time to prepare them are less popular in the United States. I think it has a lot to do with quick turnaround foodstuffs, How are the panels safely disposed after the 20-year lifespan? Disposed? Well, just like anything, disassembled and recycled, How are electrical panels disposed of after their lifespan? How are cars disposed of after their lifespan? Yeah. Just like anything, everything needs to be disassembled and recycled. You know what I mean? That's just a fact of the world that we live in. Otherwise, we have to just throw it in the hole in the ground, and that's a waste of resources for everybody, Wesley's Fish Club says here they reduce your bill by the kilowatt. You return to the net at the end of the year. So your electricity produced in the summer covers usage in the winter. Energy companies want to get rid of this. Yeah, of course they do. Yeah, of course they want to get rid of. Electric companies don't want you to have solar. They don't. Of course they don't, because you're a small time producer, and they have to pay you, and you're no longer a paying customer. That you're now a supplier, right? Like. But that's any business. It's not like unique to power companies. Wesley's Fish Club says with our current rates, solar panels are earned back within 2.5 years. So that probably is true in the EU, especially right now under the crazy the Putin attacking and invading Ukraine. Probably. It's probably true. If anybody is wondering, I'm 100% opposed to Russia invading Ukraine. Period. End of story. I don't want to hear anybody's stupid nonsense about like how it's even remotely justified. It's not justified at all. But it might be 2.5 years, but you also got to think that like a lot of people that are financing their solar panels are financing them and paying an interest rate on the finance of those solar panels. So they're paying interest on the loan over a certain period of time and paying it back. That's a big factor, especially in the U.S. So like, let's see a 40,000 40K loan at, let's say 4%. Let's just be super generous here, and 4% over 10 years. Let's see, calculator. Yeah. So let's say a 10-year loan at 4% over a 10-year period is going to accrue $8,500 in interest payments. So you're actually paying $48,000. So it's actually going to take that much longer. And you're probably paying, $404 a month. So you're paying $404.98 at 4% on a $40,000 loan over a 10-year period. I don't think anybody would give you a loan longer than a 10-year period. Obviously, the interest rates drop off, but you're going to be paying $404 for 10 years every month. Right. So unless you're paying more than that in electric, like taking out a loan is not a good idea. Yeah. So you'd be paying $400 a month, $404 a month. If your electricity is $150 a month, you're in the whole $250 every month for 10 years. Yeah. So it's it's not going to work out unless you're making that $250 to cover that $400 payment every month, right? And if they're not buying back the electricity that you're producing, it's not there, right? Like it doesn't exist for you to make that investment. Regardless of whether you think the technology is good or bad or whatever for the environment, it just on a simple calculator, just calculating whether it's worth it or not to do it is it's not great. Janice Lumberg with a $10 super chat saying thank you. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for supporting thank you for supporting me, Like I'm trying to I don't know. I feel like there's not a lot of people here now, so it's pretty easy for me to be kind of honest, even though this is recorded and people are going to watch it later. It's my dream to just make YouTube, not necessarily YouTube videos. It's my dream to just make videos and not necessarily videos, but like make content. I don't know. I don't even know if content's the word, but like I want to make like impactful short films, whatever you want to call them. That's kind of what I want to do, and working on that, and maintaining the bills, and maintaining a family, and maintaining and trying to like follow the YouTube stuff. And at every corner in YouTube, there's just like drama and nonsense and chaos and just like crazy people at every corner. It's been weird. It's been a weird vibe, man. It's been extraordinarily difficult to find people to collaborate with. Alyssa is an amazing example of somebody who's awesome and great to collaborate with. But now the commute is quite difficult, and we also both have like wacky schedules, stuff that we got to do. So I mean, it's been a slog, man. It has been it's been one foot after the other for a really long time now. And it is it's been weird, It's been a weird run. I've been writing about like what it is to have been like found some success, and then how that success like correlated into sort of just more work all the time. It's just more work all the time. And, to be honest with you guys, like I struggle day to day with the like feeling like, is this the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing what I should be doing? I don't know. And I don't have an answer. I have no answer for you. I just try to do the next indicated thing, and put my energy in as foot forward as I possibly can, and just keep taking steps and just keep moving forward, and doing the things I can. Like I said, I got a couple hours this morning to get some stuff done on my garage. Now, like I said, we're doing the live stream. I normally do a live stream for like 2 hours, and I've talked about it on here before. Like, I would love to be able to live stream for a longer period of time. I would like to be able to like go through more clips. I'd like to have people call in. People don't really want to call in. Like, I don't know. They just don't want to call in. I was open for calls today. I'm just going to close that because I keep looking at it. keep looking at the call room, and it's like, hey, nobody want to call in today. Nobody want to chat with me. So it's just stuff like that where you just kind of go like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I should be motivated. But then you go like, yeah, but there's also, 30 people watching and they're following the stream and, people super chat and stuff like that. And you're like, yeah, all right, man, maybe we should just keep rolling on this. To the point where like, there's people that play online Risk. You remember that old board game where you'd get like armies and you got to invade Kamchatka or whatever? I almost considered like maybe I should just start a Risk playing channel because like everything is like you either got to be like trash talking somebody or trash talking somebody else's work. You have to like generate drama in order to grasp people's attention these days. And I don't want to play that game, man. I just don't. It's not a lot of fun. It would be easy for me to do that. Like for instance, the Fish for Thought channel. Like I was one of the first 3 people that like patroned that guy's channel because I thought he was funny and everything. And he's definitely grown in a great size. And I even asked him at the time, I was like, I want to collaborate with him when he was just starting out. And then it was like, I don't want to, you kind of scare me. It's like, okay, well then, all right, never mind. Yeah. And it's always just been, dealing with this platform is very weird because this platform represents itself as it's a space for you to be you, right? Like be you, be creative, do this, do that. But ultimately, this is an advertising platform. That's what YouTube is. YouTube is a platform for advertising. So if they can't sell ads on whatever it is that you're doing, then you don't matter. It doesn't matter. If you can't sell a product to somebody, like it doesn't matter, right? If you can't bring eyes onto a Ford commercial, it doesn't matter. Or you name the commercial. I don't know. I think even like I heard earlier today. Yeah. So it's like I heard earlier today that like somebody like Kim Kardashian who has $1 billion, right? Allegedly, I don't know about any of this. I'm not saying that I have any inside information. Kim Kardashian and Floyd Mayweather are being sued over allegations they misled investors when promoting a little-known cryptocurrency called Ethereum Max to their millions of social media followers, right? Like, I mean, it's literally one of these things where, like, even these billionaires or whatever are, like, getting busted for promoting these wacky crypto schemes because like they just have to like capture money no matter what. And it's what Instagram has become, YouTube has become, it's what Twitch has become, it's what Facebook has become. I don't know, name whatever platform. They've all become a place for advertising. That's all this is. It's a platform to sell you commercials, to go buy stuff, or invest in something, or do whatever, right? And I probably let that affect me more than I should have, right? Like, I should have just rain off a duck's back. Who cares? Play the stupid game. Clickbait every title. Clickbait every thumbnail. Everything is, oh my God, my fish died, or whatever. I probably just should have done that. I probably should have just leaned into do the consumerism, get people to click on your thing, blah, blah, blah. I probably should have done that. And just gone that route, but I decided not to. I decided that, man, that's a super negative way to interact with the world. It's a super negative way to interact with other people. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make an encyclopedia about plants, aquatic plants specifically. I made one, and it just sits there, and that's, that's the reality, is like, well, that didn't do all that great. So I don't know. It's like, well, I guess back to the old drawing board, figure out how to, I don't know, I guess yell at Kim Kardashian or whatever, right? And just like, why don't I make a video about how much they suck, or whatever. But like, what are you gonna do? It just gets to a point where you just kind of feel empty and tired, and you don't really want to do anything. And some people would be like, "Man, is that depression?" I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't been to the doctor to find out about it, but I try to just stay in my lane and go like, all right, I'm just gonna try to keep my mental state positive as much as I possibly can. It's a hard thing, but also I have like a lot to show for. I have a lot to show for like what is going on. Like, I have a lot of good friendships. I've met so many like cool people in the fish keeping community. I've also met like a lot of like, wow, I don't want those people around, which is essentially going to be the positive that you take from life anywhere. You know what I mean? That's the positive you're going to take away, is like, man, I met all these great people. Turns out there's like some really negative, crappy people out there too, but whatever. I met all these great people. We have a small community of people having a good time, and we'll just keep like moving forward. But I feel like that's life, and that's how it's going to be. Aubrey says, I've been trying to make content because of you saying that you took a chance on yourself, and you made me want to do the same. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody should give it a shot. Because you're all going to have like, you're all going to find like your space and like how the world responds to you. And I think the reality is that like me in front of the camera doesn't necessarily respond all that well for people, right? Like, it just doesn't. And I think we all just like kind of have to accept our lane in life or whatever, and just go like, yeah, all right, maybe behind the camera is better. Maybe, I don't know, maybe doing the sound is better. Maybe me just building and doing construction stuff and being 10% sawdust is is the way that I should go through life or whatever. I don't know, but I really don't have any complaints. Oh man, could make a TikTok like, oh my god, what killed all these ramhorn snails, and then just pan up to Puffy the ramshorn slayer playing in the outflow of the filter. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Admittedly, one of my big reasons for getting a fish tank set up and back and getting the room set up is to get Puffy back. Yeah, just be able to hang out with some fish. And I don't really have that quiet time with fish anymore. I just don't. And I definitely miss it. I don't know the answer to this question. How much did Charles Darwin make? He's going to be more relevant in the future than the Kardashians. Your work will outlive the Kardashians. Probably. I mean, I don't think my work will. How much did Charles Darwin make? I don't know. Let's find out how much he made. Well, we're going to have to adjust for inflation because it's been 150 years since he's been alive. My apologies, 140 years. My bad. He died right after my birthday, though. His research on plants was published in a series of books, and his final book, The Formation of the Vegetable Mold Through the Actions of Worms. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. I don't know. We don't have his earnings. I don't think his Wikipedia is very helpful for that. He has an extensive Wikipedia that I definitely want to read through, though, to be honest. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh, yeah, this is funny. Yeah, this is funny. I remember I was having an argument with somebody a while ago about how, though slavery was just how they did it back then. Just nobody thought it was weird. Taking taxidermy lessons in 1826 from the freed slave John Edmonstone, whom Darwin long recalled as a very pleasant and intelligent man, reinforced his belief that black people shared the same feelings and could be as intelligent as people of other races. He took the same attitude to native people he met on the Beagle voyage. Though commonplace in Britain at the time, Silliman and Bachman noticed the contrast with slave-owning America. Around 20 years later, racism became a feature of British society, but Darwin remained strongly against slavery, against ranking the so-called races of man as distinct species, and against ill treatment of native people. When this is 1826, right? So you got to think that's 40 years before the Civil War in the United States to abolish slavery, right? So it was always that, like, oh yeah, people didn't know. They didn't know what was going on. But like, you're like, well, there's clear evidence of people knowing that it wasn't right back then, like right here. Just thrown into like 1826. Darwin was working with a black guy, with a freed slave, who I assume was a black guy, right? Was he black? Let's see. John Edmonstone. John Edmonstone was a taxidermist and teacher of taxidermy in Edinburgh. He was an influential black Briton, so I assume that he was a black guy, right? So, yeah, I mean, it's always one of those weird things. Just do a little reading, and then like, wait a minute. No, people back then knew. They knew. Let's see. What did he make? I don't know. I don't know what he made, though. Biography, facts, and pictures. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to find out, like, what, maybe net worth at death, maybe? Was Charles Darwin rich or poor? Okay, here we go. An explanation. Charles Darwin's family was well off and comfortable when he was a child, but they were not actually rich. His father was a doctor, so he worked for a living and was not independently wealthy or a member of the aristocracy. Oh my God, I need to have an account to read the rest of that. Get out of here. I'm not making an account. So he was upper middle class, but like doctors back then weren't like as wealthy as they are now. Like they were kind of revered a little bit, but I don't think they were making crazy money. They're not like plastic surgeons or driving around $200,000 Mercedes or whatever. Oh, crystal flute? No, we weren't talking about crystal flutes or anything like that. We were actually talking about Charles Darwin's financial well-being or not. But yeah, I think he was pretty well paid. I think he was. I mean, published books back then, like if you had like a popular published book back then, you were doing fairly well. Mainly because there wasn't that many books, right? And there wasn't that many people that could actually write an actual book. But, yeah. Yeah. No, we were just actually talking about the old Darwin. We were talking about Charlie Darwin. Was he rich? Oh my God, we got gifted memberships. Oh my God, we got 5 gifted memberships from Rebecca. OMG. Jen Yu, New Local Austin, Kevin Van Wiesemale, Katerina Milosevic, and Outbound all got free memberships. Gifted memberships from Rebecca. Oh my God, we are crushing it right now. We've gone up in members, guys. 75, 76, 77, 78, 79. I think that's 5. Oh my God. What do we do? OMG. You're supposed to say OMG because then people go, you said, oh my God. And I go, yeah, uh-huh. Like what? I promised I would next time when I'm a bit flush, but I'm not, but part of my winter preps. Oh, okay. Well, I noticed, Rebecca, I saw on Facebook earlier today that you were trying to get some solar panels added in, but apparently the shipping was the big issue, which I feel your pain on that. I actually spent an extra $50 on my lumber order today so that I could have it delivered. You know? Like, how weird is it? Because they go like, well, the delivery charge is $80 unless you spend over X amount, right? And I'm like, but I was $20 from getting the free delivery, so I bought a $50 box of nails, and then I was in the free delivery range. So I feel you, dude. I feel you on that one for sure. But here's a good example of the crystal flute right here. If your party is melting down over crystal flutes and purple M&Ms, while they make excuses for an orange-painted traitorous madman who incited an insurrection and stole nuclear secrets, you're on the wrong side. Yeah. Like, here's the thing. I don't give one hoot about James Madison's crystal flute. I don't give a hoot about that flute. Actually, let me post that right now. I'm going to post that right now because that's hilarious. I don't give a hoot about old flutes. There we go, period. I don't give a hoot about old flute. I posted it. So yeah, I mean, I feel you on the you know, I didn't comment on it or anything because like I didn't feel like I had anything to add, you know, like I didn't feel like I had anything to add, but like now that I brought it up on my show just to be a weirdo, I might as well talk about it for a minute. But like, I spent the extra $50 because I didn't want to get the $80 delivery charge. So somehow I got a box. I got a free box of nails and paid less than $80 for the delivery. So yeah, I don't know. Is it good? Is it good? Is it bad? Did I do the right thing or the wrong thing? I could have loaded it in my truck and brought it all back, but that would have taken a long time. And the delivery guy is just going to drop the lumber off tomorrow, and he's going to put it right where Vicky shows him to put it. Then I'll put it away into the place where it's going to go. And which I was going to have to do that anyhow. So it's like I'm either going to have to put it in my truck, drive here, offload it out of my truck, then carry it to wherever. But the reality is I could just drive my truck back here, park, and then someone else could bring it, drop it off, and then I could move it tomorrow, which I was going to have to do that part regardless. Right? So, yeah. Do you watch Showtime's The Circus? If you don't, you really should. Excellent weekly commentary, surprising interviews, both sides of the aisle. Great food shots. No, I don't watch Showtime's The Circus. Let's see what this is. I don't think I have Showtime. But here's the question, like, do they upload it to YouTube? Okay, they have something uploaded to YouTube.
You really have to
hold on. Let's pause this before I get a copyright strike. Oh, stop doing that. Let's see if they have a playlist or something. Hold on. Let's go back. We're going back. Mute. There we go. Okay. We've got it muted. They must have like more. They must upload them here because I know that like HBO uploads their stuff. Let's see this. See if we can't find it. Okay, so it has its own YouTube channel. It's not on Showtime's channel. Do they have videos? This channel has no videos. Okay.
Disney was.
Go back. Thank you. Yeah, I guess they have some older stuff. Oh, okay. I've actually watched some of these videos because these interviews I've already watched. Or I've not watched. More accurately would be like I've listened to them. So maybe I've like heard episodes of this. Yeah, I don't know. I'll check it out. I'll see if it's worthwhile. I appreciate the recommendation. We'll see what's going on. I don't have Showtime, so it's kind of like one of those things, I guess. If they don't upload it, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, if they don't upload it and you have stuff like completely stuck behind a paywall, I don't know if I'm ever going to. I don't know if I'm ever going to really like sign up for it. Yeah, $450 for shipping was pretty rough. I will admit that's a rough number to look at, but that does sound like freight shipping. You know, they're not afraid to throw out those big numbers. They definitely aren't afraid to throw those out there. So like one of the big reasons that like gifted memberships is kind of important. So like one of the reasons that like gifted memberships are pretty important is that you'll notice in the chat like Jen Yu, New Local Austin, Kevin Van Wiesemil, Katerina Milosevic, and Outbound. Like I haven't seen Outbound on the channel, Katerina or Kevin. I've seen New Local Austin and Jen Yu, but like there's 3 people like out of that 5 that will probably be like, oh crap, let's go back and watch some of this to this channel. So it sort of forces people's interactivity with a channel that they previously subscribed to, right? So I feel like that's one of the big things, the big advantage of like gifting subs on somebody's channel. Not just mine. Like I'm not saying like, hey guys, you got to do it, but I'm trying to express my appreciation that like some of the people will come back and be like, oh yeah, I really did like this video from that guy. Oh, I really didn't like this thing from that guy. Oh, I don't like the fact that this guy does a live stream. I don't want to have to like sit through a live stream. I'm trying to find something specific. But like generally those people with the memberships will either come onto the Discord and tell me like, hey, this is what I'm interested in. Hey, here's a video idea that like I can't find anywhere to answer a question that I'm trying to figure out. Or hey, I think that this would be really interesting if you worked on this and made a video about that. You know, and these are all like, if you gift subscriptions, it's only going to my subscribers or anybody else's subscribers. I guess to clarify, if you gift memberships, it's only going to members or to subscribers of that channel, right? So it's not just going up to random people like out nowhere. But I do have like 30,000 people like subscribe to this channel that like don't really interact with it whatsoever. So I think it's like a giant benefit to the fact that like a bunch of people will be like, "Oh yeah, hey man, that guy, I liked his thing, or oh, I always hated this guy, but I only follow him for these reasons. I'm just gonna unsub and go away or whatever. I don't know. I feel like at least you're gonna get something from those people, and I think it's a worthwhile feature. I'm glad that they incorporated it. I'm glad that they stole it from Twitch because I feel like it's a good. It was probably one of the best innovators of. It's probably one of the best innovators of. Or innovators, Oh my god. It's probably one of the most innovative things that Twitch incorporated into their platform. Wow, there's a sentence that actually exists. It's real. Rebecca says it's available on Prime as an add-on. Oh, snap. Cool. That actually might work. I could probably just watch it on Prime then. All right, I'll check it out on Amazonia. Amazonia.com Prime. Oh, yeah, if you're not an Amazon Prime member, do it through my thing and somebody will... The Amazon... Bezos will be happy, I imagine. I imagine that guy's probably got a pretty happy life at this point. He seems to be... He seems to be like swimming in $500 million or $1 billion boats nowadays. You know what I mean? He's just living in the boat. He's got giant boats. He's got boats everywhere. I think it's weird. Did Bezos get remarried? I think he did. I think he got like remarried. Did they get remarried? I don't know. I guess his wife got remarried. His ex-wife. I guess she got remarried. I don't even know. This is chaos. This is chaotically stupid. Chaotically stupid. I thought there would be a simple answer, but there is no simple answer. No simple answer when it comes to the bees, man. That guy's crazy. His ex-wife is getting re-divorced? What, really? Oh, my God. Oh, okay. Well, there's that. I don't know. I guess if people that have like $100 billion can't get along, is there is there something to that? There must be something to that, right? From the donate everything to anyone guy to who I can't figure out how to give to me. Wait, that's a confusing sentence. I don't understand what's happening there. I don't know what's going on there. Rebecca has taken over the chat. That's good. We'll just sit here and we'll chat back and forth with the delay. Although it is 3:30, so it has been 2 hours, so technically we're probably done with today's show, right? Now we're in the bonus. Because we have gifted memberships. It's not gifted subs. I guess it's gifted memberships because Twitch and YouTube are two different platforms. Okay, let's close that. And then I do have to look into the solar panel rebuying program if they're buying electricity now. Because I think I'm out of date on my info on that, but it'll probably take me it's like a wonderland of Googling. It's a wonderland of internet searching, sleuthing, to find out what the rate is on the buyback. Yeah, let's close this. I don't want to read about inflation. Oh yeah, the James Webb telescope of the impact satellite, whatever that impact satellite was called, like DART, or was it DART? Yeah, I think it was called DART. But the James Webb video of that thing crashing into that asteroid is it's insane, dude. I'm like, it's unbelievable. Space explosions are way weirder than we thought they were. It just turns out that, like, the Star Wars guys and Star Trek guys and all those guys that made all those shows and movies and stuff, I don't think that they knew what it was like when there's an explosion in space. So they probably based off just whatever they thought was a space explosion was supposed to be. You buy used from Santan Solar. Santan Solar. Let's take a look. You know what's funny? We put 3 solar panels. We actually have 3 solar panels that we're going to use for our greenhouse, but we put them up in the attic earlier today. It's kind of weird that was the topic today, because I literally picked up solar panels and put them up in the thing. They are what are they? They're 400 watt panels, I believe. I'd have to double check, but I think they're 400 watt panels. They're pretty big. Ooh, these ones are $455. Look at that, for $300. Wow, this is crazy. You buy used solar panels off of eBay? Is that what's going on? This is wild. Do these websites actually load, or... Okay, here we go. Decline. I don't want your cookies. Panels sold, 191,000. Megawatts. Solar systems. Pounds of CO2 reduced, 282 million pounds of CO2. Inverters. Oh, it's a YouTube video. Whoops, don't click on that. I thought you had like listings of stuff for sale. Let's see. Home shop. Solar panels. Here we go. Here we go. We're in the site. Rene Sola 250 watt 60 cell poly lot of 14. Oh. How many of these can you buy? I guess shipping isn't free, right? In stock, 1. Oh. This counter doesn't have a stop on it. You can just keep adding. Yeah. Well, this is an interesting website. It's always good to like live stream me just looking at websites, like, and making, oh, look at that. Oh. Maybe I should share the screen. Bazinga. Like that. Oh my god, it's cut off. It's cut off. How can we live like this? There we go. Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of products on here, that's for sure. I'll give it that. Used miscellaneous 320 to 325 watt solar panels, lot of 8 for $800. Only 1 left in stock, guys. Add that to cart. Let's go, baby. Right? Like, let's just do it, dude. Right, dude. Oh. So the big issue with like solar panels is like I can't tell you the monumental difference between brands and types and that kind of stuff. I do have a buddy that is going to help make the videos for the solar panel stuff when it comes to doing that. I've already filmed 2 of his setups specifically, but you know we'll make those videos when they're You know, when they're like timely or whatever. You know what I mean? When it makes sense. Gary Chodrow says staghorn algae. I don't like staghorn algae either. My psychic napping to YouTube connection is strong. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, you dust yours once a week. Oh, you've got a lot of fire going, so that does make sense. Yeah, you got to clean all that. You got to clean that ash off of everything because it literally is just going to turn into I think it turns into lye, right? Falling ash turns to lye. Yeah. Yeah, if you leave the wood ash sitting on stuff, it like doesn't it turn into lye? You see, lye is formed when wood ash, which is mostly potassium carbonate, is mixed with water. God, there you go. I was right. The mixed solution is extremely alkaline, and it comes in contact with your skin. So yeah, you definitely want to wash that ash off. For sure, because if it's just sitting on there and it gets a light misting, you can really damage stuff like paint or the coatings on solar panels. So it does make sense. You're looking at the $35 250 watt. $35 250 watt. That's not bad. Did I get shorter? I probably did. I'm shrinking. Incredible shrinking man. All right. Well, we're 2 hours in. I feel like I'm rambling. I feel like I'm lost. I feel like I'm lost in the stream. All of our super chats have worn out. Our gifted memberships have worn out. Viewer activity. Work today. Well, it sort of worked today. Janice Lumberg with the $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Fish Tank Barn with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. 5 gifted subs. Or memberships, sorry. 5 gifted memberships from Rebecca. We appreciate you big time. I think that's all of them. Let's scroll. Let's do some scroll. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for today. I think that's it. Okay. Unless anybody needs to call in. Now's the last call for callers. If anybody needs to call in, I'm in the green room. Doobity-doo. We'll see if anybody shows up. Skydancer's leaving. Says thanks for the stream. Have a great one. We'll appreciate it. Everybody says have a great day. Okay. Everybody says have a great day. There. Okay. Bye-bye. All right. We'll do a bye-bye then. Bye-bye.